the rest of the ship was cold. Those heat exchanger columns must keep the hot air out. That's why it's so cold in here. The hybrid are weakened by heat. Well, at least nobody's home. I can just activate the last of the autopilot panels and be on my way. And those panels must be... on the ceiling! Guess I have to start thinking in zero-gravity terms. Maybe that switch does something that allows the crew to get to those ceiling controls.
You! So it is you who has been tampering with our vessel. The impure creatures of this planet cause much trouble for such an obviously inferior race. And you, Ben Tennyson, are the most troublesome of all.
Yeah, that's what all my teachers used to say when I was a kid. But I'm pretty likable once you get to know me.
Insolent creature. You shall pay the price for meddling in the affairs of superior beings.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
You befoul my ship with your presence, human. Infurious scum!
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
I will destroy you!
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
You leave that alone! You will pay for this! You befoul my presence! Filthy creature! Soon we will rid this planet of your kind!
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
Whomp! Fire!
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
I guess there's fire.
Stand still! All lower life forms will be crushed by the hybrid. Stand still! No! Must stabilize temperature.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
Vermin, you will
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
Do not activate, fool! You cannot succeed! Weak, pathetic insect! Weak, pathetic insect!
Swamp fire!
Must stabilize temperature. Weak, pathetic insect. No! What have you done to me?
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
Soon we will rid this planet of your kind.
Swap fire!
What have you done to me? The heat weakening me. Arrogant maggot, you cannot thwart our plan. Loathsome human!
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
No life form in the universe is nuts, so do not activate that!
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
Stand still!
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
You will pay for this! Filthy creature! You have interfered for the last time! Give me a scalp!
Swap fire!
Arrogant maggot, you cannot thwart our plan! Loathsome human! Weak, pathetic insect!
There's swamp gas. There's fire.
Soon we will rid this planet of your kind. Arrogant maggot, you cannot thwart our plan.
The smell of success.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels. Fire!
No, don't touch that! You will pay for this! All lower life forms will be crushed by the hybrid!
Where there's swamp gas, there's fire!
Soon we will rid this planet of your kind! You will be exterminated, vile creature! Hello! Must stabilize temperature! Filthy creature!
Smell of success!
Weak, pathetic insect!
Swamp fire!
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
Arrogant maggot! You cannot thwart our plan!
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels. Swamp fire!
Stand still! No! Must stabilize!
Swamp gas, there's fire!
My strength gone! Leave that alone! You cannot succeed! You befoul my ship with your presence, you... Weak, pathetic insect! Heat weakening me. Leave that alone. You cannot escape me. All lower life forms will be crushed by the hybrid. No life form in the universe is a match for the hybrid. No! My strength. No! Don't touch that! You will pay for this! Stand still! No! Don't touch! No, you will pay for this! destroy you!
The smell of success.
You will pay for this! Feel the scum!
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
Filthy creature! No!
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
Fool, you cannot succeed! Weak, pathetic insect! Soon we will rid this planet. Leave that alone.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
I will destroy you.
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
You will pay for this.
If I can find a way to expose the hybrid to heat, it might slow him down.
Humankind will fall before the hybrid. Leave that alone. You cannot escape me. Filthy creature!
You're fired.
All lower life forms will be crushed by the hybrid.
There's no way I can defeat this guy. I just have to fight him off long enough to activate all the autopilot panels.
You will pay for this! Feel the scum!
Swamp fire!
Exterminated, vile creature! No! Loathsome human! I will destroy you! Get him! No life form in the universe is a match for the hybrid!
Where there's swamp gas, there's fire!
You have interfered.
The smell of success!
You cannot escape me!
Fire!
All lower life forms will be crushed by the hybrid. All lower life forms will be crushed by the hybrid. Loathsome human! Do not activate that control! You will pay for this! the scum!
Swamp gas, there's fire!
You're out of here! And as soon as you are, that weather array is offline. Permanently.
Your actions only serve to prove the inferiority of your species. Removing this vessel from the circuitry grid does not deactivate the weather array. The ship's departure initiates the startup sequence.
Oh boy.
You see, you might have set back our plans the last time we encountered you. But this time, it is you who have set our plans in motion. You gathered the components needed for our weather array, and you made sure the array was activated in a timely manner. And now, you will watch as your people slowly freeze to death as our weather array makes this portion of your planet suitable for habitation by the one true race!
Oh no! What have I done? I've got to get over to the weather array and help Gwen and Kevin destroy that thing before it's too late.
Did you hear me? I think it's a trap! Ben, don't go into that ship alone!
Sorry, Gwen. I can't hear you. I'm going in. I'll contact you as soon as I can.
Ben! Ben! Kevin, we have to go and help him.
I don't know if that's such a hot idea. I think that thing is almost at full power. If we go and help Ben now, we'll never get back in time to stop it.
That's probably the control room floating up above the array. I don't see any way to get up there. What should we do?
Go after the towers, I guess. Looks like there's a force field protecting each one. We'll split up, divide and conquer. I'll head out to the east and you head west. We'll circle the closest tower, take out whatever equipment that generates the force field, and we'll meet on the other side.
I hope Ben will be alright.
Don't worry, he can take care of himself. He's pretty tough. And if you ever tell him I said that, I'll deny it. Come on, let's get going. Kicking butt and taking names. You are what you touch, or at least I am. Try this on for size. Are what you touch. Or at least I am. Ha! 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 Okay, now you're in trouble. Is that all you got? Try this on for size. Okay, now you're in trouble. You are what you touch, or at least I am. Try this on for size. Okay, Gwen, I took out all the generators, and the turrets and the guards that were protecting them. I'm heading to the rendezvous point. How are you doing?
I've been better. Can't talk now. I've got company. Be there as soon as I can. Luck has nothing to do with it. Old habits die hard. seatbelt. Let's see you get through this. Let's see you get through this. Let's see you get through this. That's more like it. That's more like it. That's more like it.
You okay?
Fine. Looks like we took out the force field on Tower 1.
Yeah, and I still don't see any way to get to that control room.
Me neither. If we can't get inside, how do we stop this thing?
We could try to take out the tower, now that the force field is down. Maybe.
No way. Even with our combined powers, we can't destroy that thing. It's just too big.
Did someone say big?
About time you got here. We were starting to think we'd have to do all the work around here.
Ben, you have to hurry. If you don't destroy those towers soon, I don't know if we'll be able to reverse the damage.
No problem. I got this covered.
Could only pick the right form, you might see a ray of hope.
to my parlor.
Same deal as before. Knock out those generators so you can tear down that third tower.
Time for a little monkey business.
I guess that's it. Piece of cake.
Not so fast, Tennyson. Looks like the control room is still up and running. Well, not as up as it used to be, but...
We need to make sure none of this tech gets into the wrong hands.
I should be able to access the shutdown sequence from here.
Why don't you let Gwen take care of that? She's good at that stuff. And you're like, nah.
Just a few seconds. Almost got it. There!
Whoa. What's that?
No idea. Maybe if I... Uh-oh.
Told you should have let Gwen do it.
Guys? I think we need to get out of here. Now?
Well, at least we don't have to worry about getting the alien tech. What say we call it a day and go grab some smoothies?
So, what do you think the hybrid are up to? They had their DNA aliens crawling all over this place.
I say we've got them on the run now. This place was probably their main base on Earth.
I don't think so. We need to keep our eyes open. I think this is just the beginning. Whatever the hybrid are planning, I have a feeling it's something really big.